Hello friends, I am Anshuman Tiwari, Junior Research Scholar, Center of Education, IIT Gandhinagar. I am pursuing my PhD under the guidance of Professor Dr. Kalpesh Pathak, who is Dean and Director, Center of Education, IIT Gandhinagar. Today's my presentation topic is a meta-analytic review on scientific attitude of teachers and prospective teachers. Objective of my study is to carry out the meta-analysis of the previous researches on scientific attitude of teachers and prospective teachers. Let us move towards the introduction of this presentation. As we all know that science and technology has become an inseparable part of the well-being of all humans and other life forms that exist on the earth. Development of science and technology is only due to the scientific temperament and affective connection of human minds towards science. Science is a discipline that provides the base of critical, logical, and rational thinking, which help us to search and understand the real, or we can say that eternal truth. Scientific attitude of children amplifies when they connect affectively and cognitively both with science and scientific concepts. This amplification is only possible only when teachers are more competent. A teacher should be very much dynamic as the need of society, the need of the hour is changing very rapidly and should possess very high scientific attitude and temperament so that he or she can work progressively and scientifically to nourish the need of the children. Burnett defines scientific attitude, and the scientific attitude is scientific mindedness. It is nothing, but it is scientific mindedness. Now the studies that is included in meta-analysis, a very less number of studies has been carried out in India on the scientific attitude of prospective teachers. Some of the articles, the research that I have found on the open access database that is shown here. The first one is the research that is conducted as a study on scientific attitude among pre-service teacher that was conducted in 2015 by Gokul RR and Malinga T. Sarma U in 2016 conducted research on topic, a comparative study of scientific attitude of science and non-science BTC people teachers. Balaji G 2017 conducted research on topic, the role of science teacher in developing scientific attitude among secondary school students. Nagori A 2017 conducted research on a study on scientific attitude of science teacher in secondary schools of Manacherial district, Telangana, India. Gundali NC and Lakanwar BL 2017 conducted research on study of scientific attitude and job involvement of primary school teachers in relation to teaching effectiveness. Roy D in 2018 has carried out research on a study of scientific teaching attitude as the process of learning in secondary school teachers. Scientific attitude among the science and non-science pupil teachers, a comparative analysis was conducted in 2019 by Bala R and Punia B. Murugan PV in 2019 has carried out on the topic a study on scientific attitude of elementary teachers, teacher education students. Rajendran P and Anandarshu R 2020 conducted research on study on scientific attitude of BEd trainees that are on student teachers in Perambalur district, India. Now, the base of this presentation, or the main body part of this presentation, is critical analysis of the previous studies. After reviewing the previous researches, it has been concluded that, or we can conclude that, a very small number of researches have been carried out in India on the scientific attitude of teachers, mainly prospective teachers or students teachers, or we can say that BA trainees. The researchers has found only 9 researches which are available online through open access database. The researcher has also noted that most of the researches have been carried out on finding the scientific attitude of secondary and higher secondary school students. Maximum researches from last 20-30 years has been carried out mainly on finding out the scientific attitude of secondary school students and higher secondary school students. We know that teachers are the pillar of the nation, which save, which save the children and which also save the future of the society. So it is very much required that teachers having scientific attitude can develop scientific attitude in their children. As it has been observed from the previous studies, trend shows that the studies carried out by keeping scientific attitude as a dependent variable and the independent variable are mainly gender, that is male and female, stream, that is science and non-science, pupil, area of residence, that is urban and rural. Few researchers also taken particular age group difference, parental occupation, year semester of the study, type of the family, that is joint family and nuclear family. The trend also shows that female prospective teachers possess significantly higher scientific attitude than male, but few researchers also show that gender does not play any role in the level of scientific attitude. In context with the stream of the study, trend shows that prospective teachers, those who are from science background, are having higher scientific attitude than non-science prospective teachers. By critically analyzing the studies, it can also be concluded that scientific attitude of prospective teachers are generally not depend upon the variables like year of study, age group, differences, parental occupation, types of family, that is joint family and nuclear family, types of colleges like government college, private college, grant in aid college, and etc. But there is a contradiction in the results of some of the previous researches on the variables like area of residence, that is locality, that is urban and rural. Some researches shows that there is no effect of area locality on scientific attitude and vice versa. Some researches carried out on school teachers shows that scientific attitude of teachers positively affect the teaching profession, teaching strategy, and help in developing scientific temperament in the children. Now, this is the components of scientific attitude that is identified from the previous researches. These were the components that were taken into the consideration for designing the tool of the different researches that has been carried out that is taken in the meta-analysis of this study. The first one is suspended judgments, confidence in scientific methods, intellectual honesty, probing questions, rationality, open-mindedness, curiosity, aversion to superstition, and objectivity. Now, conclusion. A teachers having scientific attitude can easily connect the children effectively to the nature, which can help them to think differently, creatively, and innovatively. Scientific attitude means the way of rational answering the questions or favoring or disfavoring any entity which is scientifically true or false, respectively. If the entity is scientifically true, then the teachers, prospective teacher, or the students having high scientific attitude will favor that entity. And if the entity is having entity is non-scientific or it is false, then the students or the prospective teacher will disfavor that entity. So scientific attitude is very important. The researches carried out on the scientific attitude of prospective teachers in the last 10 years are having many contradictions when we compare their results with each other. It was also found that generally tools used were self-made and were administered on very low sample. In some researches, only 4 or 5 components of scientific attitude were taken. That arises the questions of reliability, validity of the tool. The number of statements in the previous tools were very low, which cannot find out the exact scientific attitude of the teachers or the prospective teachers, what we want to find out. So it can be finally concluded that a more and a much study is required on the scientific attitude of prospective teachers and teachers at large sample scale through well-developed, well-administered, having very high reliability and validity of the tool, standardized tool with proper component, having ability to measure the exact scientific attitude. That means the validity should be very high. That means exact scientific attitude, what we want to measure, that can be prepared in English also, and that can be converted into regional language also, so that we can find out the exact scientific attitude possessed by the prospective teachers. So this was my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.